It wasn't that long ago, you may in fact remember it, that the IRS under Barack Obama was forced to apologize for targeting, harassing, persecuting conservative nonprofits. It took several lawsuits because they kept lying about it, but the IRS finally was forced to admit the obvious, that they were doing it and that it's wrong. You shouldn't target organizations because you disagree with their political beliefs. That's corruption. So we might have a new administration soon. It won't be run by Joe Biden if he wins. Obviously, it'll be controlled by the same people who went after conservative groups under Barack Obama. They will be in charge. So what will they do once they are? Well, we have a preview tonight, thanks to the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James. The NRA, James has decided, must be destroyed immediately.
Just a few minutes ago, my office filed a lawsuit against the National Rifle Association to dissolve the organization in its entirety.
It's hard to overstate how third world this lawsuit is. The Attorney General is alleging that the National Rifle Association must be destroyed because it's getting too involved in politics, which of course it's allowed to do legally. She's also upset about what she calls self-dealing. Not clear exactly what that means. Even before James took office in 2019, she promised to bring down the president. Show me the man and I'll find you the crime, Stalin supposedly once said. James is from that school. We got some insight into who provides her marching orders thanks to a separate lawsuit the NRA filed against her. The NRA says that her predecessor, a top Democrat by the name of Eric Schneiderman, remember him? He had to leave because of personal problems. He admitted that he was pressured by, quote, powerful political interests to bring a major lawsuit against the NRA. Why? Because Democrats blamed the NRA for Trump's win 4 years ago. And by the way, they did help get Donald Trump elected. The NRA has for decades been the single most effective get-out-the-vote late campaign operation the Republicans have. And this year they were planning apparently to spend up to $70 million helping Republicans. Now they won't. Why? Because they've been sued. So defensively, they will probably hold back a lot of that money for their legal defense. So if you wanted to short-circuit Republicans in November's election, you would go after the NRA, and that's exactly what they've done. Now, there's one person we know who is not troubled by all of this, and that's Joe Biden.
So to gun owners out there who say, well, a Biden administration means they're going to come for my guns.
Bingo. You're right if you have an assault weapon. The fact of the matter is they should be illegal, period. 150 million people have been killed since 2007, more than all the wars, including Vietnam, from that point on. Carnage on our street, and I want to tell you, if I'm elected and I'm coming for you, and gun manufacturers, I'm going to take you on.
He's an idiot, of course. The facts were wrong. But the point remains. They will disarm you if you don't support them politically. That is the plan, just as in China. And this is the first step. Seth Barron is associate editor of Political Journal. He has a good sense of what the Attorney General of New York is up to. He joins us tonight. Seth, thanks so much for coming on. What, are you allowed in the United States, if you just refresh my memory because things are changing fast, if you're the government, to shut down your political opposition with lawsuits? Can you do that?
Well, I don't think you're supposed to. I think that kind of goes against the spirit of the law, perhaps not the letter. They seem to do that pretty well. But what I think Tish James is really up to is, I think you're right that it is an attack on the, it's an electorally based attack, but also it's a major distraction from the fact that shootings have gone up radically in New York City in the last few months. This is a typical diversion attempt to blame the shootings on someone other than the bad ideas of Mayor Bill de Blasio and Governor Andrew Cuomo and the Democrat Party. In the last few months, they've let thousands of people out of jail. They've changed the law, so basically no one gets remanded on bail. They've essentially sat on the police and made it impossible for them to do their jobs effectively. And as a result, gangs are involved in just this spate of violence all over Brooklyn, the Bronx, Upper Manhattan, and shootings are up like 200% in New York City. So I think a lot of this is, whenever this happens in Chicago or DC or New York, the local leaders blame the NRA and responsible gun owners. And they say, oh, there's an iron pipeline of guns coming into our cities. But magically, they only go off when they get into the cities.
So the NRA exists to preserve your right to defend your family from violence. If you have leaders who are simultaneously encouraging violence and then working to prevent you from defending yourself against it, you should be concerned, shouldn't you be?
I think you should be very concerned. There's a lot of violence on the streets of New York right now. Robberies are up, assaults are up, knifings are up. So, yeah, absolutely. I think, ideally everyone would be armed. New York City has very strict gun laws, but it doesn't seem to be stopping it.
Yeah, I would say just the opposite. Seth Barron, thanks so much for coming on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.